I know I haven't been making as many videos, but there's not really a lot to talk about since Ahsoka is not ended, and we haven't gotten really any word on what Kennedy's doing. So, um, you know, her house is still for sale. They haven't dropped the price. The emails that were promised by uh, other YouTube videos and Gina Carano have not dropped yet. And we just got to hang around and sit and wait. But I did want to bring up Corione Witch in Residence, who's a good friend of mine, has a contest that he's been entered in. And I wanted to put the link in if I can. Let's look. Okay. All right. Here. Let me just do. Hey, Corian. Hey, Cross, what's up? I'm gonna try to put this in here. Of course, I can't. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Okay, well, the word is not much. What I want you guys to do is go to Corione's YouTube channel and hit the link to go that he says to go to the Cheer Network, I think it's called, and vote for him. For basically, he's being nominated for spreading positivity, and trust me, the world really needs it right now, especially in the world of Star Wars. When we've still got Kennedy's minions, what's left of them, pushing a Rey movie that's never going to happen. And Taika Waititi, I swear to God, sometimes these people say shit like that just to get attention. And Taika Waititi is an asshole. Okay, he's an asshole. Ow, Cross, yuck. Well, I've got something going on with my teeth. I have a night grinding problem. And they're sensitive to the point where I get migraine headaches from it. There's literally a nerve that goes like on your face that your tooth is somehow connected to. And yesterday I got the worst. It was an eye headache, and then it was a really bad migraine, and I was gonna go live yesterday and I just couldn't. I just absolutely couldn't. I felt like shit, to be honest. So I was you're welcome, Corione. I was not feeling good. But now if you're wondering where I am, I'll show you. I'm in a parking lot. This is my view. Beautiful fall, little tableau going on with the leaves blowing around. My husband is working and I'm waiting for him to get done because we've got other stuff we got to do. Got to get ready for Thanksgiving. Let's see, Kojak is being groomed on Monday. The house has got to be cleaned. I have to put the Christmas lights up early, like the ones outside, because I won't have any real time to do it after Thanksgiving because there's so much to put up in the house. So anyway, kind of waiting on Rudy, and I'm doing Thanksgiving dinner too. So got turkey ordered, getting all the rest of the stuff on Sunday. Probably like go to Wegmans on Tuesday and get like the loose big batches of sage and rosemary in time for the turkey. And I've got to get, I'm making that big apple pie, that big, it's almost like you make it in a lasagna pan, and it's really good, and it's probably 3 trillion calories, but it's so good. And I'm making a deep dish bourbon pecan pumpkin butter pie, which is really good too. And probably just a pecan pie, okay, just because I can. But we've got a lot of stuff we've got to do this week, which this is my time of year. So I don't normally make a lot of videos because it's I'm busy. Okay. Um, all right. I'm doing 2 different kinds of stuffing this year. My dad's recipe and another one I found. And I'm going to take my dad's recipe, at least a quarter of it. Instead of putting breadcrumbs in it, I'm going to put pork rinds in it to see if it actually tastes decent. I am on a low carb, high protein diet, and wherever I can eliminate bread, pasta, potatoes, I will. Okay, so we'll see where that goes. We'll see if that actually works. Um, but what else? I mean, what else? But really, as far as Star Wars goes, there have been absolutely no announcements. I don't consider anything Taika Waititi to be says about Star Wars to be news, because he'll say it and then he'll say, but that's really a long ways from now, like 6 or 7 years, which means never. Okay. Like the Rey movie, they keep talking about it. If you notice, it's now basically been reduced to fan websites. Um, I'm like, this is not going to happen. Okay. And once Kennedy decides to leave, whether the emails drop or not, and to me, I'm like, I don't care. Even if she does leave, and it feels like the emails won't be dropped, I think they should be dropped. And the reason why is because I think the people that have defended that bitch, Maris Crane, really deserve to have who she really is shoved in their throat, down there, in their noses. Yeah, it's not. Corian's right. It's not happening. It's just like The Acolyte. Disney doesn't even have it on their timeline. Okay, we don't know what it is. It's more than a sizzle reel, but they didn't film enough to call it a show, so they can't take the tax break from it. And it all goes down where the hell did you get the money? Okay, and stonewalling lawyers, etc. And it's real. I mean, we haven't heard anything about the duffel bag, the Indiana Jones satchel lawsuit either. Okay, everything is like on super tight lockdown, which is understandable. I would say the reason why it's under super tight lockdown is Disney doesn't want any more lawsuits. Okay, and I could see Kennedy kind of making a stink about that, but really, if they say, hey, we've got these emails and we are going to drop them, I I see her hopefully finally getting a reality check. But look, when I talk about her being a narcissistic personality disorder, she is. Okay. If you look at everything she's done, she purposely went out to erase everything George Lucas created. And I'm not just talking about Star Wars. I'm talking about Willow, I'm talking about Indiana Jones 5. Okay. When you've got her husband wishing, or there was a happy birthday to Kate Capshaw on the Indiana Jones official fan account, and her husband comes in and says, talking about Kate Capshaw, who's Steven Spielberg's wife, she was, past tense, a great friend. Was. That tells me that shit is going down and has gone down. Okay. The story is that she's never actually been able to talk to Spielberg. He won't talk to her. I honestly don't think that she's had a face-to-face meeting with Iger since she pissed him off in July. She's been on 2 European vacations since then, back in Mexico, and I don't, she's probably in California right now, doing something, but she's not at Lucasfilm, you know, but her being considered still the president of Lucasfilm hurts the cause. Okay, now, Jon Favreau, they decide to just make announcements. What would she do about it? And what I'm thinking is that she'd probably go on a tirade with the fan websites. All right. She already tried to spread the rumor that Favreau and Filoni were on the outs, which that didn't work. It worked for some of the black pills, but obviously they need the money. I mean, hey, some of the bigger channels are now selling coffee to make up for lost ad revenue. Okay, I'm not going to buy their coffee. I'm a rebel here, and I like my Christmas blend at Starbucks and my French blend at Starbucks, and that's what you know. There was a rumor, James, that there was a cabal. There was a cabal of Nelson Peltz, George Lucas, Rupert Murdoch, and other people, and they were trying to force Iger to do things. Look, Iger to me is a survivor until he's not, and just looking at their shares are $14 over what they were last week. All right, I think. I don't have my other phone with me, so I can't look in real time. But they're like $94 yesterday, which is way better than it was. Okay, so I think Wall Street is kind of giving him a break right now, but I also think he's doing what Nelson Peltz has asked him to do, which is start getting rid of this woke shit. Okay, so it's yeah. I mean, look, when you have people out there that are busy tearing, this is why I want you guys to go to that cheer website and vote for Corian. There's so much hatred and anger in the world, all right, and positive people who are motivated by looking at things from a better perspective need to be, hey, John, what's up, man? People who people need to be uplifted and they need to hear the whole story. So when you've got Gina Carano basically dropping the bomb that it's happening soon, when you've got Kennedy basically unable to do anything at Lucasfilm, going from one Italian vacation to Mexico, when you've got her husband talking about Kate Capshaw as having been a good friend in past tense, there's shit going down. Okay, it just, look, they can't afford this bullshit anymore. And of course, the Star Wars website and Star Wars YouTube accounts pushing the High Republic. That's all that the story group has right now. A bunch of stupid fucking activist writers. And there you go. Okay. FBI got, what are you talking about, John? You know, these books aren't selling. You go to bookscan.com and the first one in the series sold, wow, 100,000 copies. 20 years ago, Vince Flynn, you get active treason out there and it sells, 10 million copies the first month. There's no comparison, okay? There's no comparison. And but that's where Kennedy's people are at. Oh, really? Money laundering, where? I mean, wow. Okay, well, tell me more. Tell me more. Um, so, look, let's talk about the Acolyte. We don't know where Kennedy got the money. I think Disney probably has a good idea now. Um, and there are people watching this that know more about it than I do. They're like, they do. Um, Leslie Headland has gone to ground. Okay. Well, it was the end of the fourth quarter. That won't be till February. Uh, well, I'd have to look, but okay. I think they need to get those out there. Um, you know, Kennedy, I don't, look, you can't do anything, you can't move on anything if she's there. You can't, because she'll fuck with you one way or another. She can't help herself. Again, she has a personality disorder, narcissistic personality disorder. Um, she's vindictive. Uh, if you think about everything that she's ever put together for Star Wars, Willow, or Indiana Jones 5, it was all resentment. She resented uh, where she was in the pecking order at when she worked on those movies with George, and she went out of her way to erase him. Okay, that's what Ray is about. That's what Helena Shaw was about. Okay, that's what all the bullshit trash in Willow was. And like, I don't think it was Tony Gilroy who told the writer's room for Andor to remove your love of Star Wars and what made you love Star Wars from Andor. I think he got that from her. Okay, because they wanted to be way too serious, way too how can I say uh way too not sophisticated, but there's a word for it, and it just it doesn't make any sense. Um, oh, I know. I mean, the fact that we didn't hear anything about what she thought, because I think if she had ever been, if she was still in at the Lucasfilm offices, we would have heard something. All right. Um, but that, people were asking, and, the rumor is the Disney executives were pissed off about it. And I'm like, they came out looking decent. She looked like an asshole. Okay. But sort of the fandom menace. Okay. Uh, and they were all having a good time looking at it. They didn't understand that they were being lampooned too, which I loved. Okay. Um, but what I thought was interesting is that it took Trey and Matt a week to write that thing. Okay. But there's another thing. Did Trey and Matt go to Iger and say, hey, can we do this? Because Iger doesn't look bad at all. Kennedy's the one that looks like the idiot. And then, the fact that they had her have a change of heart is like the Cartman version of Kennedy is Kennedy. Okay. That's who she is. All right. The world revolves around her and her bullshit, and the rest of us just gotta, yeah, they had to have. Um, and she got what she deserved. And that just tells me that Hollywood doesn't take her seriously anymore. Okay. They just, you know, look, when Cameron says he's talked to reporters who know there's something going on at Lucasfilm, they're not allowed to talk about it in the trades. Their editors won't let them do stories. Everybody in Hollywood knows something. So, you sit there, you scratch your head and go, okay, uh, if everybody knows something, then why don't they talk about it? And it's like, does she have stories about the editors? Is she threatening like lawsuits and shit? Like, you never know. I mean, you never know what goes. But again, you're dealing with someone who cannot tolerate the fact that she failed. In her mind, she didn't. Her mind, she's highly successful. In her mind, it's the fans' fault. It's everybody else's fault but hers. And she'll gaslight. She has gaslight lit people into believing there's a Ray movie, at least fans. She's gaslit people into believing the Acolyte is actually a finished show, which it's not. I mean, when the stories came out and they were showing pictures of it, it looked cheesy and poorly, poorly conceived. I really wish we could have gotten to see the. I really wish we could have gotten to see the what people saw at Celebration, so we could see what it was about. Because it looks stupid. I mean, everything about this whole thing is just a big fucking mess, and the woman won't leave. She won't say, okay, all right, I've had enough. It's time for me to take my toys and go. Okay, so if you're on X, my advice is to find Frank's X account, Le Doctor, L-E Doctor, L-E, spell out the name, word doctor, and tell him your wife really has to let Lucasfilm go. Okay, it's not fair to him. It's not fair to their kids. It's not fair to the people who worked for her. It's not fair to the fans who don't know what's going on. And it's not fair for other people. She's not letting people have closure. And closure resolution is a very important thing for people to have in situations like this. And she just won't do it. I mean, she won't, or she is, and it hasn't been announced. I know back this summer when the five horsemen, the Nazgul showed up, one of them said to Lucasfilm employees, "You will find out about Mrs. Kennedy when it's hey Maze." No, there isn't any snow on the ground. It's concrete. You'll find out Miss Kennedy's fate when it's announced. So, did they come to an agreement? Probably. But yeah, Maze, my husband, we've got a Marine Corps promotion to put on here at base, and Rudy's going through the list of civilians that are going to be allowed to be on the base that day. He's got to go through. Normally he and I are driving around, going to gun stores, and it's 1:45. I've got 2 hours and 15 minutes to the wine. I go to a wine tasting every Friday, and hopefully it'll be a good one. But yeah, this is I just decided to take the time to do this because, to be honest, I haven't been doing a lot of videos lately. Like I said before, there's not a whole lot going on. Do go to the link in my community page. I posted Corian's video. He's got a link to the Cheer website. Go and vote for him for spreading positivity. We really need more of that in the fandom. It's, I mean, there's a reason why I don't talk about politics much. Y'all know I'm a MAGA supporter. I don't talk about anything else. Is because there's nothing good to talk about. There's nothing. And which is why I've, kind of look at entertainment news as being a lot more fun. And that's why I'm doing this. You know, the fandom needs a break, all right? And getting the word out that there are people out there with good messages is a thing I think we should all do. So please go to the community page when you can. Go to the link for the Cheer website and vote for Corian, so we can help him because he deserves it. And meanwhile I just kind of tool along, do my thing. Plan. I've got everything. I've got my list for Thanksgiving done. I pick up the bird on Tuesday. The dog gets his groom Monday. The bird Tuesday. I'll put the bird in the brine on Wednesday. Meanwhile, Rudy and I are cleaning, and I gotta make 3 pies. I gotta get both kinds of stuffing ready to go. And, basically then all I really have to do is assemble is I'm making a Brussels sprout casserole that's kind of like the green bean casserole, but it's better. Oh, good. They did go to, okay. All right. So, yeah, Trey and Matt did go to Iger, which is why he looks good and she looks stupid. Basically they made her, what was interesting is they gave her, they gave her a personality she doesn't have. Her reaction to the fans, well, I'm sorry, and all the apologizing. She's not apologizing. She blames us for this. If she failed, oh, cool. That's cool, John. That's excellent. If she actually admitted, I shouldn't have done that, I shouldn't have done this, that would be something that would be like night and day. Because like I said, I believe strongly that she has a narcissistic personality disorder. I think she hates men. I think her dad wanted sons, and I don't think she ever forgave him for that. But I also found out, and I think I told you guys a long time ago, I did a research. Her father was highly connected to the Democrat Party in California with Jerry Brown, his dad, and they basically, her family, her father served for that I think it was the Jerry Brown administration. I think he served his father too. So she came from money. He was a judge. She came from money. I think her mother was wealthy too. And I think that daddy wanted a son. And Kathleen decided to try to be the boy they never had. You remember the story that she actually was her high school football team's quarterback? That's true. That's true. So when you hear about women playing in men's, boys' sports in school, that actually did happen a few times, and she's one of them. And a personality disorder like narcissism, you're not born with it. It's created. So whatever went on in her house is why we all get to suffer. Because again, what she's doing by not resigning, not retiring, is her family's suffering. Frank is suffering. She's suffering herself needlessly. The fans are suffering. Her employees are suffering. The franchises are suffering. People who don't know her personally, us, we're suffering as fans because we don't have any end. We don't have a resolution to this. Okay. But that's what narcissists do. She's gaslighting people into thinking something is going on that's not. You know, but, you know, she hasn't set foot in Lucasfilm offices since, I think, late July. She tried to get Nelson Peltz to help her, and he bitch slapped her. Well, I don't think she realized that George Lucas, Peltz know each other. Okay, and I can see him going, every one of your movies made less and less money. Box office was here, and it went down there. Okay, cratered. Indiana Jones 5 was untenable. I mean, I liked the movie because I love seeing Harrison Ford in anything. But it could have been better. They should have fashioned the story a little more of an Indiana Jones story. And instead of having, Phoebe Waller-Bridge's character get, kidnapped for the dial and Indy having to go rescue her, it was this, it could have been better. It was okay, but it could have been a lot better. Okay. But, and how much money they spent on the reshoots? Was it $400 million? They said. And the movie only made like 300 and some. I mean, it lost about $350 million. And, Soylo, A Soy War Story, lost about the same thing. What will always, and this is my thing, and I'm going to let you guys go. What has always bothered me about her and Bob Iger is that after TLJ came out, and Iger apparently was appalled by the fans' reaction, and Solo came out and crashed and burned, and that was the first moment Pablo Hidalgo appeared to have been bitch slapped by Disney. They never should have renegotiated her contract. But because, they looked at TLJ making over $1 billion, like $1.3 billion, instead of the last movie, which is Soylo, and automatically just gave her a contract. And it's like, what'd you do that for? These are the questions we need to have answered. But anyway, I was kind of bored sitting here and waiting for Rudy. So I want to talk to you guys. It was good to see you, John, Maze, Corion, Cross, everybody. You have a good afternoon. All right. And you'll hear from me again before Thanksgiving. But I'm going to be super busy. So see you guys around the galaxy. Have a good weekend. I could show up tomorrow doing something. Okay. Ciao. Bye. Gobble, gobble.